Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Men think they're tough, but truth be told, we melt faster than butter in a hot skillet when a woman knows how to work our minds. Now, I'm not talking about playing games or being manipulative. I'm talking about real, genuine actions that hit us right where it counts, in the heart and in the head. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something right now. There is nothing, and I mean nothing, more powerful in a woman's arsenal than confidence mixed with self-respect. I don't care if you're wearing designer from head to toe or something you found on the clearance rack. If you walk in the room like you belong there, if you carry yourself like you are worth $1 million, every man in that room is gonna take note. You don't even have to try hard. Men can smell confidence. It's in the way you hold your head up, the way you smile like you know a secret nobody else does, the way you don't shrink yourself to make others comfortable. See, confidence isn't arrogance. It's not about walking in and thinking you better than everyone else. It's about knowing your value and not letting anyone discount it. When a woman respects herself, she sends out a silent message that says, if you're not here to add to my life, keep walking. And let me tell you something about men. We respect that because the truth is, men step up for the woman who knows her worth. The woman who carries herself with grace, but also has that quiet strength that says she won't settle for less than she deserves. Now, I've seen it happen over and over. A woman can be the most physically beautiful person in the world, but if she doesn't value herself, a man will treat her the same way she treats herself, like she's disposable. But when you respect yourself, when you have standards, when you move with dignity, you change the way a man looks at you. You go from being an option to being a priority. And here's the thing, confidence isn't just about looks. You can be a size 2 or a size 22. You can have the fanciest car or ride the bus. Confidence is an inside job. It's in how you talk to yourself when no one's listening. It's in how you pick yourself up after life knocks you down. When a man meets a confident woman, he immediately knows this is not someone he can play games with. He knows she's not sitting by the phone waiting for him to call. She's got her own life, her own goals, her own circle of friends. And if he wants a spot in her world, he's going to have to earn it. And men, real men, love that challenge. It makes them respect you more. It makes them bring their best self to the table because they don't want to lose you to someone who recognizes your value even quicker than they did. Let me tell you a little secret. When a woman truly loves herself, she becomes magnetic. Men will compete for her attention, not because she's playing hard to get, but because her energy says she's hard to forget. She's not chasing anyone. She's not begging for love. She's not tolerating disrespect. She knows exactly what she deserves, and she's willing to wait for. That's power. And the thing about power is, it's attractive. Men melt when they realize they've met a woman who doesn't need them to feel complete, but instead chooses them because they add value to her already full life. And you know what else? Confidence changes the way you communicate. A confident woman doesn't raise her voice to be heard. Her presence demands attention. She doesn't have to argue every point or prove herself in every conversation. She can smile, speak her truth, and walk away if it's not respected. That kind of calm strength shakes a man to his core because it shows you're in control of yourself. And men know if you can't control yourself, you can't control anything. So ladies, understand this. Confidence isn't just attractive, it's a filter. It weeds out the ones who can't handle you and draws in the ones who value you. When you respect yourself, you teach people how to treat you. You show them your time isn't free, your energy isn't for sale, and your heart is not a game. And that is what makes men melt mentally, not because you've trapped them, not because you've tricked them, but because you've made them realize they found something rare and they'll do whatever it takes to hold on to it. Men are natural hunters by nature. It's in our DNA. We like the chase, the pursuit, the thrill of earning something valuable. But here's where many women make the mistake. They lay all their cards on the table too soon. They tell everything, give everything, make themselves too available, and suddenly the mystery is gone. You see, when there's nothing left to discover, a man's curiosity fades. That's why women who keep a little mystery, who maintain their independence, stay on a man's mind long after he leaves the room. Mystery is not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about allowing space for a man to wonder about you, to work to know you. You don't need to share every detail of your life in the first conversation. Let him discover things over time. Let him be surprised by the layers of your personality. A man loves the feeling that there's always more to learn about you, that no matter how much time he spends with you, you've still got something new to reveal. Independence is the other side of that coin. When you have your own life, your own dreams, your own priorities, you send a powerful message without saying a word. I'm good with or without you. That energy is magnetic because it makes a man realize he has to bring value to your life. If you already fulfilled, already happy, already living, he understands that his role is not to complete you, but to complement you. Think about it. When you meet someone who has their own passions, their own friends, their own sense of purpose, don't they instantly become more interesting? The same applies here. A woman who isn't glued to a man's side, who can enjoy her own company and handle her own business, keeps him intrigued because she's not dependent on his presence for happiness. And believe me, that's a rare quality. Men notice it instantly. When you combine mystery and independence, you create a dynamic that keeps a man invested. He can't take you for granted because he knows you're not just sitting around waiting for his call. He knows you've got options. He knows you could be anywhere, doing anything with anyone, and you chose to spend your time with him. That choice makes your presence more valuable. A man's mind works like this. The more effort he puts in to earn your time, your trust, and your affection, the more he values it. That's why giving everything too fast often backfires. When you leave room for him to put in effort, you're giving him the opportunity to prove himself. And men love to prove themselves to a woman they respect. Now, mystery doesn't mean being cold or distant. It means being selective about what you share and when. It's the difference between telling your whole life story on the first date and letting him earn the right to know the deeper parts of you. And independence doesn't mean shutting him out. It means you can love him deeply, but still love yourself enough to protect your peace, your goals, and your life outside of him. Men respect women who have boundaries. And part of maintaining mystery and independence is setting those boundaries early. If you don't jump every time he calls, not out of spite, but because you genuinely have your own schedule, he sees that your time is valuable. If you don't respond instantly to every message because you're busy living your life, He realizes he's dealing with someone who's not going to be smothered. That's attractive. And let's be honest, people value what they work for. If a man has to put in time and energy to win you over, he's not going to throw it away easily. That sense of mystery keeps his attention, and your independence keeps his respect. When you hold on to both, you're not just someone he wants, you become someone he feels lucky to have. And once a man feels lucky, he'll do whatever it takes to keep that feeling. Every man, no matter how tough he acts, has a deep need to feel appreciated. It's in our nature. We want to know that what we do matters, that the effort we put in is seen and valued. Men live for that feeling of being respected and admired by the woman they care about. You give a man genuine appreciation, and you'll watch him transform right in front of your eyes. He'll stand taller, work harder, and give more, not because you demanded it, but because he feels inspired to do it. When a man feels like nothing he does is ever good enough, he starts to shut down. But when you acknowledge the little things, the way he fixes something around the house, the way he remembers your favorite snack, the way he handles a stressful situation, it feeds his pride in a healthy way. It tells him, I see you, I value you, and I'm grateful for you. That message goes straight to his heart. It's not about stroking his ego for no reason. It's about recognizing genuine effort. Men are wired to be providers and protectors in some form, whether that's financially, emotionally, or just being there when it counts. When you show appreciation for those roles, you're speaking directly to a man's core identity. And admiration takes it a step further. When a man feels like his woman is proud of him, when she brags about him to others or tells him she believes in him, it lights a fire in him that nothing else can. It makes him want to live up to that image she sees in him. This doesn't mean you have to overpraise or flatter him constantly. In fact, overdoing it can make it feel fake. Real appreciation comes in those sincere moments when you notice what he's done and let him know it matters. Maybe he's been working long hours and you say, I know you're tired, but I really appreciate how hard you're working for us. Or maybe he takes care of something without being asked and you simply say, that means a lot to me. Those words stick with a man. The beautiful thing about appreciation is that it creates a cycle. When a man feels valued, he wants to do more to keep earning that feeling. And the more he does, the more you notice, and the stronger the bond becomes. But when there's no appreciation, the opposite happens. He starts pulling back, doing less, feeling disconnected. It's also important to understand that admiration doesn't always have to be about what he's done. It can be about who he is. Maybe you admire his work ethic, his kindness, his sense of humor, or his ability to stay calm under pressure. When you point out those qualities, you remind him that you're not just with him for what he can provide, but for the man he is at his core. That's powerful. Men often face silent battles they don't talk about. Pressure from work, financial stress, personal doubts. When you show up as someone who notices his effort and lifts him up, instead of tearing him down, you become his safe place. And when a man has a safe place, he's not going anywhere. A man can hear compliments from strangers, praise from his boss, even recognition from friends, but none of it compares to the admiration of the woman he loves. That carries more weight than anything else. When he knows his woman believes in him, he'll push harder, dream bigger, and protect that relationship with everything he's got. So if you want to strengthen a man's bond with you, don't underestimate the power of simple, genuine appreciation. Those words and actions that let him know you see him and you're proud of him will not only melt his heart, but also lock in his loyalty. It's not about inflating his ego. It's about watering the part of him that thrives on being your man, your protector, your partner. That's how you reach him mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. One of the most underrated ways to truly connect with a man is through listening, really listening. Not nodding while your mind is somewhere else, not waiting for your turn to speak, but giving him your full attention. For a lot of men, that's rare. We live in a world where everybody is talking, posting, and giving opinions, but not many people are truly hearing each other. When a man finds a woman who actually listens to him, it hits different. It makes him feel respected, valued, and safe in a way most people never give him. See, men aren't always as open with their emotions as women. We've been taught from a young age to be tough, to man up, to hide our feelings. So when we do decide to open up, we're taking a risk. We're showing a side of ourselves we don't show to just anyone. That's why how you respond in that moment matters so much. If you listen without judgment, if you let him talk without interrupting or immediately trying to fix everything, you give him the gift of being heard. And for a man, that gift is priceless. Validating his feelings doesn't mean you have to agree with everything he says. It means you acknowledge that what he feels is real to him. Instead of saying, that's not a big deal, you say, I understand why you feel that way. Those words might sound small, but they carry weight. They tell him he's not crazy, he's not weak, and he's not alone in whatever he's going through. A lot of men walk around with walls up because they've been shut down or dismissed before. Maybe they've opened up in the past and got laughed at, ignored, or criticized. So when they find someone who makes them feel safe enough to be vulnerable, they don't forget it. That kind of connection goes deeper than attraction or chemistry. It builds trust, and trust is the foundation for everything else. Listening also means picking up on the things he's not saying. Sometimes a man might not come right out and tell you what's bothering him, but you can hear it in his tone or see it in his body language. When you notice those things and gently invite him to talk, it shows you care beyond the surface level. It says, I'm paying attention to you, you matter to me. That kind of attentiveness can melt a man's heart because it proves you're invested in more than just the good times. You're there for the real moments too. And let's be real, most men aren't going to pour their hearts out every day. But when they do, the way you handle it will determine if they ever do it again. If you respond with patience, empathy, and respect, you create an environment where he feels free to be himself. If you respond with criticism, sarcasm, or indifference, you shut that door, and it's hard to get him to open it again. Men may not say it outright, but they crave emotional connection just like women do. They want someone who sees past the surface, past the bravado, and understands the person underneath. When you listen with your whole heart and validate what he's feeling, you give him that connection. And once he feels it, he'll associate that feeling with you. It's also important to remember that listening is more than just being quiet while he talks. It's about being present. Put the phone down, make eye contact, and engage in the conversation. Ask thoughtful questions that show you not just hearing the words, but processing them. That's when a man feels like you're truly in the moment with him. The truth is, every man wants to feel like he has someone in his corner, someone who understands him even when he can't fully explain himself. When you become that person, you occupy a space in his life that no one else can. You're not just the woman he's attracted to, you're the woman he trusts, confides in, and turns to when the world gets heavy. And that kind of bond, that's the kind that lasts. There's something magical about a woman who knows how to bring life